Sometimes, dude, you just need a little cheese. Sometimes you just need a little like
that. I was not predicting.
you just need a little guy.
It looks like my head.
Brooks, today we have lots and lots to talk about. There's a million things going on. We've had games like Crimson Desert come out. You want to talk about something related to your favorite anime.
Yes.
So we'll get to that. But to start out today, I want to start out with something that I don't think anybody saw coming, but it's the success of Pokemon Pokopia.
Yes, I've been wanting to talk about. So Andrew, he hit me up yesterday. He's like, "We got to do a podcast." Well, what do you want to talk about? And I was like, "Well, there's Pokopia and the fact that people like it." And
It's
I'm like,
crazy.
Yeah. So I've seen. I don't have a Switch 2. I still personally don't think that there's any real push to get one. Like, I would rather get like a Steam Deck or an Ally ROG or something like that.
Sure.
Something adjacent to that. I think that's more bang for your buck. They're more expensive, but you get way more mileage out of those. That being said, Pokopia is kind of moving in the right direction for Switch 2 users, because Pokopia, from what I've seen, the very little that I've seen, people love it. People are spending a lot of time in it. I've seen video clips or like stream clips of people falling asleep and then they come back and then they're playing Pokopia again. I'm like, that is a great feeling, because I love the feeling of like finding a game that you love, getting invested in it, and like playing it all night. And then you wake up and you like see the sun come through like the window, and you're like, oh, I've been awake all night. Like, yep. I've had them when I'm younger, or I've experienced that more when I was younger. And then in my early 20s in my adult life, I've had those experiences with like maybe like Elden Ring or even Oblivion, the remaster recently. So it's really nice. And people are finding that in Pokopia, which I'm happy about.
So if you haven't paid attention to a lot of like the things that are surrounding Pokopia, Pokemon Pokopia is a couple, and this will be kind of the reasons also that people tend to be liking it from what I've seen. But the description of it is the reason that people like it. It's a cozy Pokemon game. Right now, cozy games are a really big deal. We got too much stress going on in the rest of the world, so this is like a good reprieve.
Yes.
There's no combat. So it is the first, or not one of the first, but it is one of the largest like non-combat things that they've ever done in Pokemon. They're not like forcing a combat mechanic into it. And then on top of that, like there's no people. You play as a Ditto.
Yeah.
And at least as far as I can remember, this is the first time where you can talk to Pokemon. The Pokemon converse with you, like say actual words.
Yeah,
because you can understand them. And dude, there's some stuff that I need to pull some of these up.
I've seen some of the dialogue in the game, whereas Charmander says something really funny. I can't remember what it is, but
Pokemon says, "I threw up."
Oh yeah, I threw up.
I threw up.
That's so cute. Like,
yeah.
It's appealing to a very certain audience when it says "I threw up," but it's still like universally adorable. So I love that.
Oh yeah, dude! Look at this thing.
I threw up. Oh man,
there's just like there's just so much random stuff. Like, that's nice, yo.
Yeah.
From this Magikarp and Bulbasaur, let's get this place humid is crazy.
It's appealing to like more internet humor from what I've noticed. And I'm like, that's actually like that. Like that's I mean, you might view it as cringe on a surface level.
It's intentionally cringe.
Yeah, but that's why I like it. It's like, it's fun. It's fun.
Water.
Water.
Like, these are so good.
Yo, where am I? That's so good.
Were you even listening to me? Chairs are not food. It's just,
Okay, now that
it's so funny.
that's bullshit. I've eaten plenty of chairs in my day.
That's a nice looking small log you got there. Is crazy, Pincer.
No comment.
The dialogue is a massive part of why people are liking it, but
Yeah.
also it taps into something that a lot of other people enjoy, which is the if you've ever played an Animal Crossing game, if you've ever played a Stardew Valley game, it's the crafting of your own space. People really like those, and the slower pacedness of it is really nice. So, dude, I can understand why people are really
Me
digging
too.
it. And it is seeing sales numbers go up. I'm seeing
Good.
people buy Switch 2s specifically because you can only play this game on a Switch 2.
I was this close to being like, I need to find a way to get one for Emily.
My
So
wife
she could play Pokopia.
Yeah, my wife has 100% said as soon as we are like financially ready to purchase it, like pull the trigger on it, like we're getting it. She's playing Pokopia. Like that is like the first thing. We're buying it with that game in mind.
And look, if this is a system seller for you, I still think Nintendo is a scumbag entity. Like that my mind has not changed on that. At least Pokopia is good. I'm happy that Pokopia is being received well. I still think that the idea of what was the thing with the cartridge or whatever, like it's just
the key card thing.
the key card. I still think that's lame, but I'm just happy. Look, we criticize a lot on this podcast, but we're not hating for the sake of hating. Like we do it because we love this stuff. And we're going to give credit where credit is due. And the credit
100%.
is very much due here because people love this game so far. And I'm happy for them.
Dude, it's crushing. Like that's half my feed. And obviously I'm very like dialed into like the Pokemon internet meme stuff. Just because of that's what we pay attention to a lot.
Yeah.
But like it has shifted away video game wise. It has shifted away from, I'm seeing less Resident Evil memes and more Pokemon Pokopia stuff. And that like to take that feed away from people's attention like that does say a lot because I mean Resident Evil was doing insane. I mean, we talked about it last time. Like that game was being received so well and is still being played by a lot of people.
Yes.
And people are still enjoying it, and I'm still seeing some memes from that relevant as well, but I'm seeing more and more and more this Pokopia stuff take up. So I'm very excited eventually to play this. For me, it's not a system seller necessarily.
Sure.
This is, and am I wrong in saying that this is the first Nintendo Switch 2 only title?
That's a good question.
I think this is the first mainline, and we would consider this mainline because it's Pokemon game that is
Let's look.
Switch 2 specific. Because Metroid you could play on both. Mario Kart World, I believe may have been Switch 2 only, but I thought you could play it on both.
Let's see. Yeah. Pokemon Pokopia is widely considered one of the first major exclusive games for the Switch 2. Yeah. So yeah, you're right.
And so that is I think that's also part of the reason that people are doing like full sending it on the console finally. This is the thing that like now we're starting to see Switch 2 specific things come to the console, and we're seeing like what they can do. The worlds are pretty big from what I've seen. And it taps into something that they already know works, which is the Stardew Valley-ness or the Animal Crossing, like New Horizons-esque type thing.
Yeah, cozy games are awesome. Like it. Yeah, I love it.
I think it's great, and I think that, like for a lot of people, and for us as well, I think moving forward, we're gonna start seeing more games that, as we look at the console, we're gonna be like, yeah, it's starting to pick up its steam finally.
So,
we've been in this weird transitional period for the last year.
You know what I'll say bums me out is the fact that Pokopia will I most likely will never be able to be modded. And that is such a boon to that kind of game, because you look at games like Stardew Valley or Minecraft, like some of the biggest cozy games ever. And like people that have those games on PC, like, or whatever, they mod the crap out of these games. And that's what gives it its longevity. Like Concerned Ape, the guy who made Stardew Valley, like, from what I understand, that dude is like super down to earth, very accommodating, and very open to modders. And
yeah, he really likes the modding community. He loves the modding community.
He's one of my favorite game devs. Like, I haven't played a lot of Stardew Valley. Emily loves it. It's one of her favorite games. We saw the Symphony in Atlanta.
I saw you guys went.
It was, oh my God, it's such a beautiful experience. But like Concerned Ape, definitely one of my favorite game devs of all time, because not only did he like make a really great game pretty much by himself, like he is, I love him on principle, because like he invites people to be like, yeah, mod my game. I'm open to it. And that's what maintains longevity. So that's the only like real concern I have for Pokopia is like, yeah, it'll be fun and it's got plenty of playtime, and that game has enough mileage, right? I do think that, you know, if you even attempt to, if you think about modding your Switch, they will just cut that off and you will not be able to do anything.
This is the thing, because I do follow, if there's if you've listened to the podcast for a bit, you know I'm definitely into like the indie game modding and like the very off the beaten path, like ROM community and stuff.
Yes.
Like I'm very like, I pay attention to that space a lot. And I know a lot of people that will rip their ROMs off their cartridge. Like they do it for Super Mario Wonder. They'll do it for, you know, Zelda and a bunch of other games. And that it could happen for this, because people will just do it, you know, because they don't care.
Yeah.
My trepidation with that is, how are they going to get, like, is it possible to rip a ROM that isn't on a physical cartridge if it's a game key card and not a physical cartridge? Like, I wonder if that makes it harder to, or it makes it impossible to actually remove that game.
2 things I'll say to that. I think it's going to be way harder and more dangerous. And if I know, and 2, if I know anything about the internet, they will fucking find out.
Oh, they'll do it. No, they'll do it. I'm not saying it won't happen. And like, it's gonna happen.
Sure, it's gonna be way harder though.
Yeah, it's gonna be way harder.
Well, you have to be willing to brick a Switch to do it, because you're probably gonna have to brick a couple Switch 2s before you get there. Also, Emily said, "Have y'all considered?"
Yeah.
Emily, you know I'm not even capable of considering.
I don't know if Brooks has considered a thing in his entire life.
Just like.
It just
shuts the. Sorry, you gotta turn that little screw back on, or what's that?
Yeah.
I don't know the name of that. My brain's too stupid to be funny, so I don't have the recall to be a funny person. So, brother,
Emily,
he does absolutely nothing. This is so true. I'm like a wind-up toy. You gotta put or you gotta swap the batteries back in.
Oh, like BMO or whatever. Or Baymax or whatever the heck his name is.
Or whatever.
Baymax, yeah, the calculator where he falls into the batteries, dies for a second.
Yeah. Proving my point in real time. Honestly, I can't. My recall's too bad to be a really good, funny.
That's funny. That's
funny
hilarious. Guy. But yeah, I feel like, I mean, that space is probably going to mod this. I expect to see some mods from this. Baymax is the giant white robot. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. That's a Disney thing. Anyway, and BMO's a bank in Canada. So
and also the little guy from Adventure Time. But both can be true. You can hold 2 truths.
Yeah. BMO is the one I'm thinking of, but I was thinking BMO as in like the sponsor for a soccer team. Anyway.
Wild pull.
I know. Anyway, yes, I think modders will find a way. I do agree, though, Brooks. It's going to be way harder to get access to the raw version of this game to mod.
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. I think it'll come eventually, though.
Yeah, being on the game key card, I could imagine it's a lot more strict, and I think they know what they're doing. Man, the last thing I'll say about this, and we can move on to the next topic. It's so crazy how people modded the crap out of their Switch, and you were able to. And it's funny that Nintendo's response. It's not. Well, it's funny, but it's also not surprising that their response to that is well, screw those people. You got to have this very specific, exact experience, which proves that. It's just one of the many ways that it proves that they're so out of touch with the world. Shout out to Corey Batista, love that guy. We tracked bass at his house, I went to track for one of those songs for ABCL that's coming out. And Corey's a big gamer, he loves gaming.
He was big into the Smash community for a long time.
Well, he was telling me about modded Skyrim. And
dude, modded Skyrim is crazy.
It's that's probably the most insane modded game in history.
It's one of the most modded games of that style.
Yeah, and
outside of Pokemon.
Yeah, for sure. And that game, the joke is that Todd Howard sold it 5 billion times, but if you get it on PC and you mod it, dude, there's thousands of mods for that thing.
Yeah.
And if you are open to that, if you're open to games being modded, then it just opens up a whole new world.
Mm-hmm. I know that people will use Skyrim, and they'll do this for Pokemon too.
Is she really, Emily?
what ends up happening is they use games like Stardew or Pokemon Fire Red, Leaf Green, or the Ruby Sapphire, or they use Skyrim or a couple other games what's the big first person shooter game that Steam makes?
Well, there's Half-Life. And then there's Gmod.
Gmod and Half-Life. So those kind of games that I just said are all kind of used as a baseline for people to try stuff. And I've seen people start as modders and become devs because they use the base. They start modding and get so good at it that they're they move into the dev space and use pieces of that as a baseline.
This is a side tangent, but Emily made a good point. Modded Elden Ring. There's this mod called the Convergence mod and I've been dying to play that. Also Souls randomizers. Those I've been dying to play both of those. I want to stream both of them. I just don't have time to stream these days. But the Convergence mod for Elden Ring, I know very little about it, but basically it's you start with a specific class and you've already got specific stats and weapons, and they have custom weapons and custom attacks and custom status effects. And
sure.
Basically to boil that down, then we'll move on to the next point. Modding is crucial. I in my opinion, I think modding and the modding community is crucial to preserving the longevity of a game.
100%.
It makes a good game or a decent game phenomenal. And the fact that Nintendo is so allergic to people messing with their stuff, they're still Nintendo and people are still going to buy the game, but it really hinders the longevity. Look at the freaking Mario Odyssey mods, and people Small Ant has modded that game, I think, in Breath of the Wild. Maybe I'm wrong. I think he's played modded versions of that, but also they have Kaizo Mario Odyssey or something like that. And I could be wrong again.
That's a newer thing for sure.
Yeah, my recall is terrible. Exist. So do your own research.
No, that does exist. I want to close out this, I want to shout out some specific mods: Pokemon Unbound and Pokemon Lazarus in particular. The devs for Pokemon Lazarus are doing some crazy stuff, so I want to shout them out. They are just absolutely crushing it. So shout out you guys for absolutely crushing it. Next up, Brooks, do you want to take a tangent or do you want to stay on games?
I think we need to talk about something very special to me.
Okay, let's talk about
take a little
this.
bit of a detour.
Let's take a detour off games. We'll come back to games here in a second. This one's specifically for Brooks.
And for the world.
And for the world.
Let's talk about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, specifically Steel Ball Run. The Steel Ball Run anime dropped on March 19th of 2026. It is currently March 24th, 2026. Mm-hmm. I saw the first episode. Oh my God. Like, oh my God. So I gotta give you some context first.
It's on Netflix, right?
Yes, it is on Netflix. There are two things in particular that I want to talk about that is important.
Okay.
The first thing is the rating. I mean, it's a very highly rated part one and just an anime in general. It has a 9.8 on IMDb right now. And just the first part has been out. And it hasn't even been out for a week. 9.8.
Wow.
So
yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Out of 9.8 out of 10 with 18,000 ratings.
Yeah.
That's
is
crazy.
Damn good. And so I want to preface that I've read a little bit of the JoJo manga. I've seen the anime, I've seen a lot of the anime.
You've seen the anime more hours than you've been alive.
I wish that were true. It's actually not true. I've probably I've played more video games than I've watched JoJo's.
Okay,
I played more Elden Ring than I've experienced JoJo.
Well, that's probably true. Yeah, you've played a lot of Elden Ring.
But like I have watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I've been watching it for the past couple years. I restarted it like a couple years ago. I just didn't finish. I got up to part 3, but the point is, I've watched the anime. I'm currently in the middle of Stone Ocean, which I started it back on Netflix, and it came out in like 3 parts, but that will be important. So anyway, the manga and the anime, it really depends on the part, because JoJo is it's a little complex. So for example, in part 5, you have stand abilities that are a little confusing when it's in manga form. But I know
a lot of people that when the stands came along in part 5, that's actually a thing that turned them off to the manga.
Yeah,
because it is very visually confusing.
Yes. So in part 5 specifically, I'm not going to spoil it, but there is a stand, a pretty significant one, that is a little confusing in manga form. But in the anime, it fleshes it out, and it makes it so much easier and more accessible to understand. It's funny because in Stone Ocean in part 6, it's swapped, because there are scenes, the way it is framed and shown, it's more confusing in the anime than it maybe in the manga. I've actually read a little bit of the Stone Ocean manga because I wanted to catch up. But the point being is that the anime is very important for the series. And if you have only seen the anime and you haven't read the manga, it's still perfectly valid to enjoy this. So all that to say, Steel Ball Run is considered the best JoJo part. Like the manga is considered to be like a masterpiece. Like I love Araki's work in general. That one is said to be a masterpiece. Yeah. There are discrepancies between this part, like part 1, and the way that the manga starts as opposed to the anime. They leave a lot of stuff out, but the stuff that they leave out and the stuff that they add and the way that it is constructed, from what I've seen, the conversation around that is like they did such a good job introducing the world, because the first part is like 47 minutes long. And it establishes the world. It establishes, so basically it takes place, it's like a Western, right? Yeah. It takes place in like the late 19th century,
1890.
Yeah, it takes place there, and the Steel Ball Run is a race from California to New York, and the people go from there one place to another, and it's the whole thing, like it's all about movement and like the golden spin, which is like that golden ratio or whatever. It's basically what Lateralis by Tool is based off of. So it's really cool. The things that they don't add from the manga, it's fine, right? Because they do such a good job Tristan said, I thought JoJo was a 0 out of 10 anime. We're no longer friends. So pack your bags, get out of town. So anyway, that's the first thing I wanted to cover was that they did an excellent job. And again, I haven't read a lot of the manga. I own the ending of part 5 and I've read a little bit of Stone Ocean, but I'm mainly familiar with the anime.
You're very fluent in the anime, yes.
I'm aware enough about part 7 and what other people talk about to understand the differences. And
excited about the hype that's coming with the rest of this. Yeah.
It's also just well made. Like, so Steel Ball Run, it takes place in the 1890s, but they all race on horseback. Well, most of them race on horseback. There's a thing, but they animated the horses in a specific way, all hand drawn. There's no CGI. Really cool. All of the horses are very meticulously animated, and they just did a great job.
I'm seeing a lot more animation studio, like anime studios. I mean, they've stayed with the hand drawn thing a lot, but there was a while that a lot of them dipped into the CG stuff pretty heavily.
Yeah,
and the 3D CG stuff pretty heavily. And I love seeing that is beautiful. Like coming back as a mainstay. I also want to say, shout out Damian Haas of Smosh fame, who voices Diego Brando for that.
That is cool.
Yeah, he voices Diego Brando for that.
I'm personally watching it in Japanese because that's how, like, I think JoJo is one of those few animes that, like, that is the best way to view it. Sure. Whether you're a sub or dub person, like, whatever, that's a silly argument. Just enjoy it.
I'll probably do it. I'll probably watch it a little in both because I like Damien's voice acting.
Yeah,
I think he does a great job. He does a lot of he was a Delicious in Dungeon. He was the voice of the main character for that.
I love that too.
And he was the voice of he's been in a lot of other animes that I've enjoyed. So I'll probably check out both, mainly because I agree with you from the little bit of JoJo's that I have watched. It is better and it's funnier in Japanese.
It's meant for
watching it. Watching it subbed is just so much,
especially
funnier.
Some of the earlier parts. Also, I think his name is Ben Diskin, who voices Joseph Joestar in part 2. Is also the voice of Nigel Uno, which is really funny.
Oh, that's
to
cool.
me. I believe I want to make sure I get his name right. It's Ben Diskin.
That's cool.
Ben. So the first part that I wanted to cover is the rating and the quality and the discrepancy between the anime and the manga. The second part that I want to discuss is the release schedule. This is really messy. It's very confusing. We don't really fully know what the release schedule is. Like, I've heard a lot of different things from a lot of different places. A funny thing, and allegedly, I'm just going to say allegedly because I don't know how true this is. Allegedly, Netflix, the Chile Netflix replied to some tweet or something and said that it's going to come out weekly. But there have also been interviews about stuff where there's conflicting information and stuff. I looked at it yesterday. I tried to look into it at a surface level. So I have a very surface level understanding of the release schedule, but all I know is that it is messy. Like, ideally, it would come out weekly, right? But the reason that it's weird is because it's on Netflix. And the way Stone Ocean was done was controversial. So Stone Ocean, from what I remember, and I want to make sure I get this right because I don't want to just say wrong stuff. How did Stone Ocean release on Netflix? It came out in 3 batches. Okay, so I was right.
Okay.
I just wanted to double check my information. So it came out in 3 batches. I think there's there's 38 episodes in total, right? And it came out in 3 batches. People say that Stone Ocean, as an anime, is the weakest anime part of JoJo because it was rushed and the production was weird. Like, and I notice it because the way that it conveys information, like, when it comes to JoJo in the later parts, you have to be very delicate with how you display the stand powers, with how you present information. For example, there is a very early part in Stone Ocean where basically the setup is Jolene Cujo, who is the main character. she is in a cell, right? Like she's in a cell and there's bars in front of her, and her stand punches the door, and she can't break the door. But then the other person on the other side, it cuts, and then a fist comes and punches her in the face. But Jolene's stand ability, it uses threads, so she can unthread herself and have like a string, and it comes out. So you can infer that the thread came out through the bar and manifested itself as a fist. Like you can infer that, but it doesn't show it. I had to watch it like 5 times back to make sure I wasn't tripping. But you can infer that, but it doesn't explain it very well. Also, when it punches, the character's name is Gwess. So when it punches Gwess in the face, it cuts and it shows Jolene, and her stand is still behind the bar. So you're like, what? It's a little confusing. The point being, it is confusing and displayed in a weird way. And people complain, people that know the Stone Ocean manga and the story very well, some people that I've seen in the past have complained that it's like it's a little sloppy. Compared to like part 5, which part 5 is, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. David Productions made that, and David Productions, they're working on Steel Ball Run now. I think David Productions did Stone Ocean. Let me check again. Did David Productions make part 6? Okay, David Productions did part 6. They're popular for doing the JoJo anime. Mm-hmm. From what I understand, it was like a production hell situation where it was like really annoying for them to kind of like, it was rushed. There were deadlines and it was messy. So I'm done yapping about this. I'm excited about it. Sorry, I yapped your ears off.
I'm very excited about like dipping into this, because as a person who is very loose on JoJo's and I'm not like extremely well versed in it, this feels like a really good place for me to like hop into.
Yes. So the last thing I'll say about it is part 7 is a great place to start if you're a new JoJo fan. I highly recommend watching parts 1 through 6 when you get around to it. It's a lot
for sure.
But
I've heard part 4 and 5 or 3 and 5 and this one are great.
So parts 1 through 6, they're all connected. It's all part of one giant universe.
But this one's not,
Part
right?
7, the universe, it's a completely different continuity. Because Araki was like, he just needed a fresh start. So he basically reset the universe and is telling a whole different, he's creating a separate continuity for these characters. There are references like Gyro Zappelli is a reference to Zappelli from part 1. And then you've got Diego Brando, who is a reference to Dio. You've got people like, I believe it's pronounced Ermud Avdol, which is a reference to Avdol from part 3. So, and then, oh man, like if you watch the anime, there's a sound basically where it's like when Diego passes Gyro on the horse, it makes the sound of Dio using the world. And it's like,
very good audio references.
It's great. And then there's a character called Pokoloco. His stand is called Hey Ya, I believe. It's named after the Outcast song. And you can hear in the music that it goes, Hey Ya, as it transitions, which is awesome. Pokoloco's very quickly becoming one of my favorite JoJo characters. Oh my God. It's just so good.
Well, it does feel like a really good place for me to jump into it and like actually pay attention to it for a longer period of time. So I'm excited about that. Brooks, anything else that you'd like to say about? I mean, I'm sure there's a million things you'd like to say about JoJo.
I could do like several podcasts about how much I love JoJo.
Yeah, maybe we'll bring another big anime fan in who's also deep into dojos, and you guys can yap about it while I just facilitate conversations from a very naive point of view. So the takeaways from this is that part 1 was received very well, and the release schedule is a little hazy. But overall, I'm extremely excited for this. We're really high. I checked on my anime list. It's number 1 on my anime list right now. Yes. It's also like you said, like insanely highly rated on IMDb. So it's very cool. Well, sliding back over to video games, there's a game that we talked about. Yes. What was it? Probably like a month ago, maybe. I think so. A month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago. Yeah. that we saw, I think I brought it to the table and I was like, this looks really sick. This looks like a game that Brooks would really, really like. That just released, called Crimson Desert. And a lot of people are playing it right now. And bro, it is like, there seems to be a divide that I don't quite understand. And maybe it's, let's talk about it. There seems to be a divide between the things that like the reviews are saying, like your Metacritics, your IGNs, like your those types review sites, and then people that are actually playing it. There seems to be like a divide between those two things for some reason. Like it got a 78 Metascore on Metacritic.
Crickets loved it.
Yeah. Which is like not terrible, but pretty good. And I think that has more to do with how complicated it is.
Yeah.
It's got an 8.2 user score on Metacritic. And then, but the one that a lot of people stated was IGN gave it a 6 out of 10.
I don't trust gaming journalists like that.
I was like, a 6 out of 10 seems, that's a pretty large discrepancy between those two.
So a side note to gaming journalism, one thing that I've come to learn over the years is that gaming journalism, specifically like IGN or outlets like Kotaku or, what is it? Like Game Informer, I think is another one. Historically, they've been silly, and there's a lot more where like either some people have been historically paid off by gaming entities to, give it a positive review, and when they didn't, they got fired or it compromised their job. It's happened to Dunkey in the past where like Microsoft paid him, is like, hey, say a good thing about this, and he didn't, and they like ended a contract. He made a video about it. So typically, I don't trust gaming journalism sites. I would trust something like Metacritic that is open to everything. Way more than I would trust like IGN or Game Informer
and like
Kotaku
it being at 78 Metascore with an 8.2 user score tracks with some other things that I'm seeing, which is like 9.5 from Forbes and an 8 out of 10 from Gaming Bolt. So that's like pretty like in the same vein, right?
Yeah.
That IGN is just like giving it a one of the lower scores of like a larger AAA game like this.
Which
is pretty nuts.
It's weird because they'll be like, yeah, this new Call of Duty is absolute butt cheeks.
10 out of 10.
It's a 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. Yeah,
that's kind of like the IGN.
Somebody said IGN gave it a low score. It's probably going to win Game of the Year.
Yeah, that's funny. So,
or they also said you can't spell ignorant without IGN, and I was like, that's hilarious.
That is brilliant.
That's so good.
My understanding of Crimson Desert, there's a guy, shocker, I can't remember off the top of my head. Who would have thunk?
Who would have thought?
But I've been watching his stuff for a little bit, and he kind of gave a pretty good breakdown, a surface level breakdown of Crimson Desert. He's like, let's say if you play the first like 5 to 10 hours, you might hate it. But if you put like 50 to 60 hours into it, or
it's going to be one of your favorite games of all time.
Let's say if you put at least 60 hours into it, you're going to love it. It is a game for a specific type of person. It's kind of like Breath of the Wild.
So that is what I've kind of seen, and I'm very excited. I want to talk about a little more of this, but I'm very excited to get this game myself and kind of dive into it because it feels like a very me game.
Yes,
like
I think you would love it,
and it kind of feels like a very you game. It feels like it's more exploratory than it is RPG-ish. So it's like you see it, and I think even when we watched the review or the some of the gameplay stuff for the first time and like the trailer and stuff, I was like, it feels kind of like a bigger world, Elden Ring. So I don't know. Like it felt like an Elden Ring, but it's not that at all. And I think a lot of people are going into it expecting a Skyrim or an Elden Ring.
They're probably expecting more combat.
and it is, but it's a lot of traversal.
Yeah. So
and it's a lot of world expansion and a lot of like going and finding, and like if you like games with like where you get charged to go get a thing and bring it back. Like if you like those types of games, Hollow Knight Silksong does that a lot in its mechanics, where you play courier for a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Like if you like that stuff in games, which I do, I think it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna love this game.
Yeah.
It is very Breath of the Wild, but also like an Elder Scrolls game, like smashed together.
Yeah, Tristan says, that brings up a good question. Is the time spent in the game the reason for the enjoyment, or is it actually an indicator of already enjoying
I
it?
would argue it's the second one. I would argue that time, the amount of time somebody spends in the game means that you probably enjoyed it from the jump. And I would say, like, if you're an hour or two into it and you're just not feeling it, the entire game is probably not going to be for you.
Sure. Yeah, I agree with that. I think, at least in my experience, games that I have put my whole like being into, like let's say Elden Ring, for example.
Yeah.
Like I have put so much time and effort into that game, and well, I already knew I was gonna like it, but I didn't know I was gonna like fall in love with it.
You knew that you were gonna like it because it's a Souls game and it's basically Dark Souls 3, but in a but it's its own version.
I think a little bit of both scenarios can be true, because like let's see, is the time spent in the game the reason for enjoying it? I mean, yeah. Take Pokopia and Stardew, like we talked about earlier. Yeah, I mean, take long games like Breath of the Wild or Crimson Desert or Elden Ring. It's like that is part of the enjoyment. Yes, so I do agree with that side, and I think both can be true. Where it's like isn't actually an indicator of already enjoying it. Like if you spend like, I don't know, I put like 100 hours in Oblivion Remastered. Yeah. So yeah,
you obviously love that game.
I love that game.
Yeah.
So I think both can be true.
I could tell off rip that I was going to enjoy Expedition 33. I knew I was going to enjoy within the first. I mean, dude. I mean, we even talked about this, but like hitting the prologue, you're like, "Yep, I love this game. Game of the year, like dope. I'm in." Even the first time you play a game like Skyrim or Oblivion or an Elden Ring or a Breath of the Wild, the first or Tears of the Kingdom, like the first time you get through that opening sequence, you can kind of tell if you're going to enjoy it or not by that point. Mm-hmm. I know some people probably would disagree with that.
Sure.
I think those people are wrong. But
sorry, I'm doing schedule stuff. I am listening now.
I said I think those people are wrong because I think that if you're going to spend a lot of hours in something, you are going to like it. I don't think the difference between spending 2 hours in something and 5 hours in something is going to be the difference between you liking it or not liking it. I think it might be like, I understand. Maybe I now understand why other people like this game more, but it's not. I don't think it's going to be a reason why you like it necessarily.
Sure.
But talking about this game, the other thing I want to talk about with Crimson Desert in particular is that this is the first time in a long time that I can remember a game coming out pretty well optimized.
That's one thing
right out of the gate.
Yeah. So I'm not buying it on PC. I'll tell you right now. Dude, Monster Hunter Wilds absolutely scarred me from buying.
So you know why I am probably going to buy it on PC?
Because of
people are already running it on their Steam Decks.
Oh, okay. That's a good indicator. I was like, well, where are you going with this?
And it's already optimized for Apple on release.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So like this is I want to say the last time I can remember a game doing this, it was Lies of P.
Oh, really?
Lies of P, on at least from what I remember,
sure.
Close, either on launch or close to on launch, and maybe Baldur's Gate 3 was also very similar. It was like either on launch or like a couple weeks after at launch. It was already optimized for, like, they shifted it to be optimized for Apple systems out the gate. And they shifted it to be optimized for Steam Decks and handheld things out the gate. Pretty close to out the gate, at least. Crimson Desert, day of release, it was Apple certified and people are already playing it on their Steam Decks.
Wow.
So that means it's a very well maintained game, and it's not going to do a Monster Hunter Wilds and absolutely just brick your computer out the gate.
Holy crap. So yeah, Monster Hunter Wilds was so disappointing to me. And like, yeah, I think I've been wanting to make like a really short video talking about my relationship with Monster Hunter. And this is a side tangent, but like how I've kind of grown, like I outgrew that series, weirdly enough. Like Monster Hunter Wild was like the last Monster Hunter. I'm like, okay, I could never play this again and be like, I've had the experience, which is sad because I don't think it's a bad franchise. For me, I've kind of grown out of it. But leading up to what I was saying is like, I was so disappointed, and this probably colors my opinion of that, where I bought Monster Hunter Wilds. It was brand new on the PC, and I was like, I'm so excited to have this on PC. I can stream it. And dude, my computer, and I have a pretty good computer. I mean, it's older, but I mean, the hardware inside, I mean, I have like a 4070, like a RTX 4070, you know, like, and I have 32 gigs of RAM. Like my PC is not, it's not a baby back bitch. It's old, but it's a workhorse. It's
not a chump though. Yeah.
It is not a chump. And I couldn't run OBS and Monster Hunter Wilds at the same time. It crashed. Like it just crashed and it just couldn't work. So then I bought it on PS5 so I could stream it. I played all the way through the main game, all the way through like the post game. I got to the end of it. I felt empty.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, wow, I did this. I played this game. And initially I liked it, but I know I'm getting sidetracked. But the point is, like, I will never, ever, unless it's like an Expedition 33, right? Most likely never buy a huge game on release on PC again. Because of that.
I'm probably
even if I know it's optimized, I'm like, I still don't trust it.
I'm probably still gonna get it. The thing that scares me is the size of the map. And I wanted. This is the last thing I wanted to talk about with this game in particular.
Mm-hmm.
The size of the map is insane. Like, okay, so I'll give you some like literal specs, and then I'll give you some like comparative specs.
Sure.
Crimson Desert, estimated at between 80 and 110 kilometers squared in game.
Wow.
The game is described at least twice the size of Skyrim and larger than Red Dead Redemption 2. Think about twice the size of Skyrim.
What?
Yeah. Think about twice the size of Skyrim, bro.
Holy crap, Lois.
And a part of that is and the reason it gets a lot of the Zelda comparison is there's a lot of sky islands and things floating in the sky for
I
you
have
to
seen
traverse.
those sky segments where it's like pretty much almost a 1-to-1 to Tears of the Kingdom. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a little different, but yeah, it's very, very similar. Basically, they were like, hey, what if we did Tears of the Kingdom, but it was also Skyrim? And then we just made it twice as big. And I was like, dude, that's freaking cool. I'm here for that.
If nothing else, I respect the amount of effort that has gone. I want to buy it on PS5. I respect the effort that has gone into this game, whether you like it or not.
I don't have a PS5. So
Sure.
For me, I'm getting on PC, but for you that has a PS5, it's probably going to run better because it's going to be more like tightly optimized for that system.
That's one thing I will give console gaming is it does, like bigger games like this, it does take the strain off of your PC. You don't have to wait as long for optimization because the consoles they're dedicated to playing games.
Or if a patch freaks something out and you don't have to wait on something.
Again, Monster Hunter Wilds, it ran just as well as it wasn't. I mean, you could get better graphics and fidelity out of a PC, but it ran way better. And I say way better. It ran exactly how I needed it to on PS5 because I could stream it no problem because it was coming from an external device. So, but yeah, I like, look, if this game wins, okay, title of the stream. Let's talk about how.
Let's talk about like I mean, bro, we're shaping up to like. There's potential that within this last month alone, we've seen potentially 3 Game of the Year contenders out of the gate.
This year has been so far a badass year.
Pretty
for
dope
gaming.
year for gaming, dude.
Oh yeah,
Pokopia like actually turning heads and being surprising. I think that could be Nintendo's game. I mean, if we expect them to drop a 3D Mario game, and that will actually probably be the game of the year.
I weirdly don't expect that. Do you think a 3D Mario will come out this year?
Yeah.
I don't. I think it'll come out.
They always get one on within the first year and a half of launch. I think on a new console.
I am skeptical. I think it'll be next year, but that's just me.
I think Zelda will be next year. I think
Oh, okay,
I think
well, that makes
Mario will
sense.
be this year.
Cool.
But if let's say that 3D Mario game this year does not happen, I think Pokopia, barring like what we know has been planned for the Switch 2, is it was such a surprise, and it's swinging so hard, and people are going to live with this game for a really long time.
Yes.
I can totally see it being like in that game of the year spot thing. RE9.
Yes.
Dude,
I was just about to say it.
Freaking Resident Evil Requiem. People it's a shorter game, but I think Moist Critical said that it's like a 12-hour game on like average.
Yeah.
And yes, it's like $60 or $70 or whatever. But he said it is worth every penny because it is the most tight, well done game that the gameplay loop swaps between characters. Like you're never bored. The story's so well done that you're constantly like pushing to the end. I've seen people beat it in like 4 to 8 hours, and that's really, really cool too. So there's other like achievement things that you can do on the backside. It's got great replayability.
Yeah, that's so Resident Evil games usually do, because you play through the game the first time and you're like, oh, well, I'm learning it. And then the next time you play through, you put in like a code or like a cheat, and you just get like an RPG the whole way through. Like,
exactly. You do hacks and stuff. Yeah.
I love I need to play Resident Evil games. I haven't played one, but from what I've seen and the way you've described it, Resident Evil is like, it is just as much fantasy as it is horror. Like
it's the recent ones have been very action oriented, which is very cool. And like whereas like Silent Hills have been more like very story driven, but like still more
a little more grounded in reality, even though it's still a kind of horror fantasy.
It's more like puzzly kind of like
it's more reserved. Silent Hill's more reserved.
It's more. I view Silent Hill as like the mystery puzzle one. And I view Resident Evil more akin to like a Metal Gear Solid game.
Sure.
Where it's like more sneaking around and subterfuge and or action RPG.
Ammo conservation and survival or
exactly.
Survivability.
Yeah, exactly. And that's more like a Resident Evil game. Highly recommend those. That game also by a lot of different people. I'm about to dive into that game myself.
Yeah. So we've got Pokopia,
RE9, and we're talking Crimson Desert. Like if Crimson Desert has the staying power and lasts past this, like what we're talking about right now, dude. Like this game feels really cool. I am so excited to play this game. I'm so incredibly excited, and we have other games like that haven't even come out yet that we're hyping up for. Dench Attack looks really, really cool.
Mouse is my most anticipated game of the year, because I love the art style. I love the shooter. I love that it's like
I saw something really interesting about that game. Keep talking. I'm gonna look it up.
It's like that would technically be an indie game, right?
Yes.
Like
yes.
I'm so like enamored by that game so far. Like when you showed it to me like a year or two ago, I was like, oh my god, like I need this, because I love, like, I'm not a big first person shooter guy, but like I love first person game, and it looks like it's gonna be like a Fallout-esque. Like I love Fallout, right? Like I loved Fallout 3 when I played it years ago, even though I didn't play too much of it. I loved the concept. Like a first person shooter like Call of Duty, not really my thing. But a first-person shooter like Fallout, where it's more of an RPG and it's more like it's a more specific experience, that I love, and I think it's gonna be more like that. It's gonna be like first-person shooter, but also like noir, very highly stylized. Like that is my most anticipated game of the year. I cannot wait for that game to come out.
Oh yeah, dude, it's really cool, and it is primarily all hand-drawn assets.
I'm gonna vote. That's gonna be like my indie game of the year. Like if I could vote 50 times, but if the game sucks, I'm gonna be so upset.
Yeah, I mean, we're starting to see right now some reviews of this game come out of people like playing it pre-release,
like early,
early access stuff. Some people that are getting it sent, and like they are not being paid, but just getting sent the game and are like fully blown away at.
I love it.
Just like the way that it works. It reminds me a lot of like, was it Inky? and
Are you thinking of Bendy?
I'm thinking of Bendy. I thought it was Inky.
It's like
No, Bendy's the
Bendy and
Bendy
the
and the
Ink
Ink
Machine.
Machine.
That's what you're thinking of. So
the
it
Ink
takes
Factory.
a lot of like Cuphead, Bendy.
Yep.
It also has like LA Noir.
Yep. But it's all black. It's all
influences.
black and white. Which is this is one of the first like fully black and white RPG, like first person shooter games that's ever been
It's like
created.
RPG noir. There's going to be narrative. There's going to be action. It's going to be like
it looks really cool.
it's like it's very Bethesda coded. Like a Skyrim or a Fallout.
It is very kind of Bethesda coded. I am very excited about a lot of really cool games that we've gotten so far this year, and we're only into the end of March for the first quarter of the year.
I was right. I was gonna say LA Noire was developed by Rockstar, and I was right. Holy crap!
You were right. I
remembered something. Ah.
You remembered things. Hey, you know what? Let's end it on a high note. I'm excited for the things that are coming out this year. Brooks remembered something, and we're gonna be happy about that. So, we're already about at the hour mark. I don't want to go over today, so I want to say, hey, thanks so much for enjoying the show. That we're doing a slightly earlier episode this time because I am leaving to go on vacation tomorrow.
Nice.
So I'm very
enjoy your
excited
time
about
away.
that.
From me.
It is going to be my son's fifth birthday this week. So we are taking him on a cruise, and I'm very excited about that. So I'm going to try to relax. I hope I'm going to take some games with me to try to relax too.
Yep.
I hope all of you guys as well enjoy the time. And I hope you guys check out all of the things that we've been talking about, because honestly, this episode has just been like so hype.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of things that we're excited about. And that everybody else seems to be excited about, like Pokopia.
It's a good time to be a
Crimson
media
Desert.
enjoyer right now.
Dude, it really is. I saw somebody talk about this, that like it is one of the best times in a time that I can remember, at least, to be an enjoyer of digital media.
Yes.
As a whole. Financial things aside, like it is one of the best times because things are easily creatable. Indie games are challenging high AAA devs.
Yeah, we've got some really good talent making some awesome games, and like AAA developers are, and that's a whole separate topic for a different day. But
they're getting challenged, and they're having to do things like this Resident Evil 9 game had to be basically perfect.
Yes.
And it basically was by a lot of margin. Like, I mean, a lot of people are claiming it as one of the best Resident Evil games ever.
The pressure that indie devs are putting on AAA devs or AAA companies is awesome because it's challenging them to actually make good shit.
Exactly. It's amazing. And I'm enjoying seeing like more creativity in video games. I'm looking to see, and like not even just in video games, but like in movies, where we didn't even get to talk about Project Hail Mary and like how dope that's been to see that like come to life. Ryan Gosling had a really good quote that said, hey guys, don't worry. Theaters failing is not your fault. It's our job to make movies to make you want to go see them.
Sure.
And I was
that is a big part of it.
I was like, bro, shout out, dude. That's dope. And you know, he's right. Like, make things that make people want to do things and put their whole self into them, whether it's a movie, a game, a music, or whatever. We are in no better time than right now for all of those things, in my opinion. Brooks, you got any ending thoughts? That was my ending soapbox rant.
I have two things to say. Yes, within the past like handful of years, it's like the world's on fire. It is. And we can take comfort in knowing that there are enough people that give a shit, that are trying in the realm of art to do better and to be better. And like, we didn't even get a chance to talk about like the Oscars or film or anything. And it's hard for both of us to like watch movies. Like I started Sinners and it was great so far. I'm like 30 minutes in, so I still have to finish it. But we love art and media so much. And we really are, as dystopian as it feels to exist anywhere in the world right now, we are getting some really, really good art and awesome media. And I mean, art, and I know this is very deep, but art is 100% necessary.
Yeah.
Period. Like, art is necessary. And the fact that we're getting so much good, passionate art, it gives me hope. And the second thing I'll say is
Johnny Joestar wants to touch Gyro's balls.